also want to take a moment to address the video circulating on the internet that has led to these protests.
Well, it is in response to a video.
It began spontaneously in Benghazi, sparked by this hateful video.
It was a crude and disgusting video, sparked outrage throughout the Muslim world. There's no video that justifies an attack on an embassy.
Within 12 hours, the United States knew it was no video. It was an al-Qaeda attack. Yet 2 weeks after that, the president himself was telling the world that, no, it wasn't al-Qaeda. It was a video. Well, now the family members of those killed in Benghazi by al-Qaeda terrorists are demanding facts. They're in Washington at hearings. Joining us from Washington to talk about this is Claire Lopez, a former CIA officer and now a senior fellow with the Center for Security Policy. Welcome to the show, Ms. Lopez. Tell me what it's like in Washington, D.C. Has this Benghazi inquiry been getting attention from the media class, or are they focused on other matters, but various from Syria to domestic matters?
Well, you know, certainly, Ezra, there are a lot of other matters that are claiming attention of the media these days. But I will say that the commission, Citizens Commission on Benghazi, got some media attention, and also the family members of some of the heroes from Benghazi. The father, for instance, of Tyrone Woods, Charles Woods, and Sean Smith's mother as well were in Washington, D.C. this week. And also there were hearings on Capitol Hill this week, drawing attention to the unanswered questions about Benghazi.
We've got a clip of Sean Smith's mother. Let's play it right now. This is a tearjerker. Take a look.
What they said was, I will check up on it and get back to you for sure. And you know how many times I heard from them? None. I don't count. People of America don't count. The only thing that counts is their own selves and their own jobs, and the people that are involved in this get suspended for a short time, paid the whole time, and then rehired or whatever it is that they do. I want to know what happened to my son. Why can't these people tell me this?
You can feel the pain there. I find that terrible to listen to. What's also interesting to me about that video clip, Claire, is that the seats behind her are empty. These hearings seem to be empty, or is that just an optical illusion? I mean, you would think that this would be the most riveting thing in Washington. Where was everybody?
It should be the most riveting thing in Washington. You're absolutely right, Ezra. But as we know, in particular, the Democratic contingent in Congress left the hearings that were held earlier this week.
Why?
Before these two parents spoke.
Why did they leave? What excuse did they give?
I don't know that they were asked, but it was a disgrace that they left the room before those parents spoke. They've done that before as well. These two parents deserve, and so do the rest of Americans, deserve answers about what happened before the Benghazi disaster, during the attack that night, and why was there a cover-up afterwards.
You know what? Listening to Mrs. Smith talk about her grieving son, I want to juxtapose her heartfelt comments with these comments from then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Remember what she said. Take a look.
With all due respect, the fact is we had 4 dead Americans. Was it because of a protest, or was it because of guys out for a walk one night who decided they'd go kill some Americans? What difference at this point does it make?
If only she had that passion to find out the truth and to report to the mothers and to get the truth. I think her passion and her anger there was that this is going to get in the way of her 2016 election campaign. Where has Hillary Clinton been in these hearings? Has she been subpoenaed to testify?
Not to the best of my knowledge, and not so far. But what difference does it make? It makes a lot of difference. In addition to just those 4 dead Americans murdered in the attack on our mission in Benghazi, it makes a difference because of the direction of American foreign policy. It makes a difference because we do not leave Americans behind when they are under attack at a U.S. mission. Are we going to be continuing to support and aid Muslim Brotherhood, al-Qaeda militias, or not? Are we going to be in support of the forces of Islamic Jihad and Sharia, or are we going to support the voices, the genuine voices of pro-democracy? This is why this matters, as well as finding out why Americans beleaguered and under attack in a U.S. mission abroad were left to die.
Well, you asked the question, what about al-Qaeda? I note that the president waived a U.S. law against funding terrorist organizations when he sent aid and comfort and assistance to the civil war rebels in Syria. So I think I know the terrible answer to your question. Last word to you. Tell me if this will die with a whimper. Is there any political will to get the answers for Mrs. Smith and other grieving family members and Americans?
I think there is. Ezra, I do think there is. Among the population of Americans who desperately want to know what is going on, among champions within the Congress like Representative Frank Wolf, like Representatives Jason Chaffetz, Trey Gowdy, and others. And also, as I mentioned earlier, among our Citizens Commission on Benghazi, led by Roger Aronoff, Accuracy in Media, there is the will and the firm drive to find out what happened.
Claire Lopez, thanks for joining us today from Washington. Appreciate your passion.